Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever this may find you in the universe. What is, what's up? It's your boy Big Frank. You like to Just Conversations. I know we're on the evening vibe tonight for those in the on the east side of the world. All right, so just rock out with me. Do me a favor, share, subscribe, tap in. I have the privilege tonight to be talking to a friend of mine, Vincent Cauley. He is one of my line dance go-toers. Okay,
let's go.
DJ doing right. I'm looking for somebody. All right, I got one.
Let's go. You know it.
How you doing today, sir? How are you?
Good. How you feeling?
Good. I never prepped. I'll be in trouble. Now, I've known you for a longer time than we've been acquainted.
For sure.
So meaning that to see you in passing, to know the family. Skip, like to know the crew, to really know the crew.
There's a bunch of us.
You know, he was in the Army, he was working. All right, he there, but I don't know who he is, but we know he's there. Might be good morning. Good. Now, forgive me, y'all, if I say good morning, because I'm used to doing this in the morning, but it's the evening, so it might be greetings. What is growing up in Niagara Falls, just as an individual? No politics yet. Just how has that experience been for you?
Man, mine is. We all have different experiences.
Yeah.
So number one, obviously raised by a single mom. She held it down, first of all. She was tough, man. She's tough. She is tough, still tough. Shouts out to my Ma Dukes. Man, she raised 5 boys and 1 girl. Man, she handled it down. And so it starts there at home. It starts at home with a solid mom. She laid the law down. If she said something and you didn't do it, you paid the price for it. So that's where it all starts at. And then went to the school system, Niagara Falls. Well, let's start with a grade school, Niagara Street, when it was called 25th Street School. I used to walk to school every day. Then went to GJ Mann, 95th Street. Then went to Gaskill. Then went to the old high school. Then went to the new high school. Wow. So went through the whole gamut of high school and then left and came back.
I'm not just question. How old are you?
I'm 41.
41. He's right there. Yeah. No, the reason I asked that because I just I went to GJ Mann as well. So I went through that course, and that was the gas scale.
Yep.
I'm a little different. I was a little bad. I just kicked out back and forth Niagara Falls, Buffalo. But Niagara Falls is a different kind of town.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're not raised here or you're not open to understanding Niagara Falls,
yep, you
can try to treat it like a bigger city or something
else. Right.
And you can mishandle.
You sure can. No doubt.
So many individuals and people. So I think that it's always a passion or a privilege to be like, hey, no, I was born here.
Right.
I know the culture here.
Exactly.
I'm accustomed to how we evolved, how we didn't evolve.
Exactly.
The challenges, who did what, how it affected their life. Even being raised by a single mother. These are challenges that people really face. And if you don't have an understanding of that culture, like I said before, you can really mishandle
for sure
things. What was your inspiration for getting into politics?
Man, I study history, so that's just something about me. I love history. I'm not a historian, but I just love history. I just learning the past because the past is how we get to the present, and the present is how we look towards the future of where we want to go. So I just always would read, and I would see who's making the greatest impact and what field, what position, what do they do. In politics, we always think of the crooked politician, but to me, I thought of people like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, you think of Abraham Lincoln, all the great figures, and they were just in politics, in history. So that's sort of where my inspiration came from, to deliver a message to the people through politics.
And I'll be very honest with you. I've seen politics in passing. I've gone through it. I've seen people come through. I went to a radio station in Buffalo. I think politicians came for all the time. But I'll say more so now than ever have I been so involved in gaining a true understanding of the role of politicians and the impact that they have.
Absolutely.
On
everything.
But I say that to say, but I feel like also that there is a group of individuals who even today don't understand.
Right.
Like I told you, I just arrived to the table, so I'm not here talking about, I got it together. No. There's a group of people who still don't even understand the power of the politicians and the conversations happening.
100%.
And it's like we just try to fight. We're in survival mode.
Right.
But in that mode of survival, we are open to understand how to prosper.
Man.
And I think that sometimes it's my desire now to try to provide that bridge of understanding. That's why I do the podcast and talking.
And we need this. We need that.
I want you to know everybody can't make City Hall meetings. get it. Everybody ain't got a babysitter every time. Well, I ain't got one.
Right.
But if I can provide a breakdown or a dialogue to what's happening, what's going on, and what happens next, I want to make sure that I'm completing my task, doing my part.
Valid. That's what's up. We need that. Appreciate it. Thanks to Big Frank for doing that. We need more people doing that.
And you're also running for city council.
Yes, sir.
But you had the privilege of sitting in that seat.
I did.
So
I'm
gonna ask you a question that I wasn't able to ask the other candidate.
Yeah.
How was that experience sitting in a council seat, and what were the challenges that you faced?
Man, so being on that seat for that 1 year as an appointment was absolutely, that whet my appetite to get back on there. I don't back down from anything. And I just saw from behind the curtain. We talk about the Wizard of Oz. From behind the curtain, you get to see the issues and the problems and the challenges, and to see the different people and the different venues and different areas. And you get to see why Niagara Falls is the way it is, how it got the way it is, and how do we move it forward.
One thing I say all the time is that you won't understand the seat until you sit.
You won't.
And I think that sometimes even we yell and we scream, but until you occupy the seat, you don't know the resistance, you don't know the challenges, you don't know the whatever is working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But once you get there, nice is to even talk to Tiger, are you willing to handle the weight that comes with that? And I think the fact that you were able to sit there for that point of term, and you're willing to continue to fight,
man,
is a blessing. But I also understand that we've seen you beat the podium. We've seen you come to that podium at City Hall. We've seen you do your videos and things. I say if you warn the opposition, does the challenges that come with being vocal, being that present, do you consider it to be worth it?
100%. Everything I'd go through 2-3 times. And why? Because the goal is to change my hometown city. I keep hearing, and I heard about the heyday of Niagara Falls when it was called the honeymoon capital of the world, when it had East Falls was cooking, when you had Main Street was cooking, you had Pine Avenue was cooking, we had the old center, we had the new center, we had the Black Experience, we had Center Court, we had, I grew up in Unity Park, UP, where I grew up. If you're at the railroad and you take the first court, we all know the first court. I was in the second court, which nothing is there anymore besides sagebrush and weeds. We used to play on a big green electrical thing that's right there. We used to play on this. This is what my football, well, my bus stop was St. John's. We used to play football in the church parking lot in the morning. So growing up and seeing these things and hearing about them, it just kept settling in me like, why? What happened? Why are we not there? How did we get to this position? And why are we in such a nosedive? And how do we pull that plane up to get back to flying right?
And that's valid. And I hear you say this out loud. Like I said, this is why there's a benefit in being president of the city. You probably like, what are you talking about? No, I understand, because when I was in the third court.
Third court, okay.
I was in the third court. So and then I'm out leaving the third court and going to the second, to the last court.
Okay.
But we seem to change over time. And when you're surviving, you're not thinking, oh, this did that caused this. You're just like, I just got to survive. So
right.
Just moving.
Right.
When you realize, wait a minute, there has been, this is what I've been using, some piss poor arrangements. There has been the misappropriation of funds.
Yes.
There have been hidden agendas that has affected people to why we're in the condition that we're in now.
Right.
The question I was going to go into is what would be an ideal Niagara Falls for you now if you had the option to paint that picture?
100%. So, I mean, I don't know if you travel, where you've been, whoever's watching this, where you've been. I've been in different cities across the country and in different countries. And the city I envision, the city I imagine, however you enter the city, number one, you're welcomed by a nice sign. You just know you're in Niagara Falls. You just didn't wander into some middle of nowhere town. You're coming to Niagara Falls. Welcome. We want you here. Welcome. Just like if you go over to Niagara Falls, Ontario, it looked like you're going into a mini Las Vegas. But you come back over this way, it looked like you're going into a war zone. So, so number one, you're being welcomed into a city. You're in a city that's in a park. Everybody knows that we have a park where we have a natural wonder, God-given right there. We tap into that. We got people attracted. Why not give them something extra? So we welcome you into a city. The next thing you know, we have activities for seniors. We have activities for youth. We have activities for singles. We have activities for couples. We have activities for young families. We have activities for activities for older families. So you have your choice of what you want to do. You can listen to live music. You can go bowling, bring back roller skating. You can just have a mixture of things. If you want to do business here, it's easy to do business. It's a low cost, just an easy to work with city.
No, and that's valid. I say this all the time that Niagara Falls is a blank canvas and someone has to paint it.
Yes.
But I feel like the current administration through the flowing, I won't just say current, the administration over time.
Right. It's been over time, decades.
Has been holding back the paint.
Right.
Like we have these ideas and these thoughts, but the execution, like you said, business has been challenged.
Yep.
I'm gonna get into some more intense conversation. So
love it.
My thing is, I know that the recent stir is regarding Centennial Park.
Right.
You know, the last council meeting where they had a video where I kind of got escorted allegedly by the police, but the conflict was this $4 million to purchase just land.
Right.
In a fight that wasn't even secure.
Right.
Then with the objective and the goal to build something that we now know to be called Centennial Park.
Correct.
Which is what I think it's an event center with ice skating, just all these elements. What are your thoughts concerning that project and the way that funds are being dealt with?
100%. So again, I want to give your audience and people the full picture, because that's just the way I was on the council. You go to my videos, I love to bring details, I love to bring facts, I love to bring history, data, all of it. So let's go back to 2021.
Yeah.
So a company from out of Canada, they approached the city saying, man, we want to build a digital campus, a data center. So they come to the city, everything looks copacetic. They want $1.5 billion. It looks like it's going forward. And next thing you know, the city administration, instead of them wanting to allowing them to build this data center, they want to build this park, this Centennial Park. And in order and they want to build it on the same land that they want to build the data center on. So number one. But in order to get that land, that is private land. That's like me coming to you, say, I just want to take your land from you. So that gets into this, what we call the eminent domain case to get it. So they have to go to court, do the court proceedings to take the land from them. So we have to pay them for that land. And that's where the $4 million come in at. But that's like saying, I said this at the council meeting, that's like saying you go to a used car lot and you say, I want to buy that car for $1,000. Well, what if I don't want to sell it for $1,000?
Right. Now it's more, now there's
negotiations, exactly. So it's going to go up. So we have to get the land, and then we actually have to develop on the land, and who knows where that cost is going to come from. So,
and I think that is my challenge, because I think that the company that's coming from Canada to do a thing, they're funding that themselves.
Right.
There's no weight on the city.
Right.
There's opportunities and jobs and resources.
Yes, all that.
But for us to try to find money from funds, from taxpayers, to make an agreement for $4 million that's not even solid, and there's been more $1 million to develop this, to then maintain it, to have no investors, to have no. The concept doesn't make sense, especially for a city that has locations in areas that are falling apart, dilapidated, the streets are bad. There's no investment in the youth, the adult, the elderly, the community. But you want to spend. This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I don't care how you cut it, how you
no matter what.
It doesn't make sense. And it's just like somebody to come in and be willing to do a thing. Why would you even impede upon that? Why not? It's land that hasn't been used, hasn't been developed. You ain't had no ideas for this until somebody came and challenged you.
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And I think that the administration. I think the council, this is the honest, I think the council needs to change.
Yeah.
Because it has been shown that the only time something is tabled or held up currently, most times is if one of the parties are absent.
Right.
But that means that, I'm just going to be this person.
Yeah, of course.
Whoever gets inside the council seat for the next term.
Yep.
If they are in complete agreement with the mayor's ideas and concept, I mean, you're going to say yes.
Right.
Which means that everything is going to pass.
Right.
Which means that in the next 2 years, you then put us in contract.
Yeah.
That we have to deal with the consequences of even after your term is up.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's fair.
Nope.
I don't think that's fair. Like, if you're going to make a contract, there should be a contract for investing in the community, vetting the agreements that we already have, and maintaining what we already got. We're not maintaining well, and like I said, history shows.
Right.
Previous administration.
Right.
We're not managing what we have well.
Already have.
And then I just think there's a better way of executing things. Now,
There is.
we are an industrial city. We have so many factories over on Highland. You ain't necessarily have to rebuild from the ground up.
Right.
But
the bones are there.
The bones are there. You can regenerate.
Man.
You can renovate. You can make
adapt.
You can. This is what I said. You can provide courses for journeymen and electrician work,
100%.
carpentry,
100%.
masonry. They're teaching. They're learning. They're developing. But we're also building. Then let that meet somebody with a business plan that's been developing with a good plan that we work together with. Let's collaborate. Now you're talking about business thriving. Now you're talking about people doing well. Now you're talking about evolving. Now we can invest in bigger projects.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna say with this, just find what you can. You just can't be out here wasting money like that. And then you don't even have a solid source where you pulling this $4 million from.
And that's just to get the land. Then you got the actual product, which is 165, call it 200 million plus.
This is my video, not part of the tomorrow, is grass. $4 million to these grass and trees.
Right.
Just doesn't make logical sense. And I think that we have to do our due diligence. But this is where I get on the people. Because even as we talk about these funds, doesn't make sense, and these things, if we went to these organizations and these groups who are spending money in Niagara Falls and put a demand on them to have some community direct initiatives, are we prepared as a people with businesses, organizations, and ideas that money can funnel to?
So I've talked to, as part of this whole council process, man, I've seen people in sports, in dance, in recreation. And I know, I want to make sure we declare business owners from entrepreneurs. Because Third Street has seen a lot of business owners, but Third Street, we all know how Third Street is today. But entrepreneurs who are out there hungry, they want to grow, they want to help the people, they want to make profit, they want to move Niagara Falls forward. There are absolutely those people out there, and then some, to be able to take resources, to take funds, to take knowledge, and expand their lives and make the city grow. No question.
That's a valid point, because I think that sometimes I never considered that separating a business owner from entrepreneur. And I think that sometimes we have a lot of business owners.
Sure.
Whole bunch of that don't have any true investment in the city anymore. Whatever, I think I was talking to somebody that said some people have investments for a year for their grandkids down the line.
Yeah. But
you just can't feed one side of the city. So you just can't feed Niagara Falls. Let me just talk about Niagara Falls, because the mayor did a video recently where he talked about he's trying to get Niagara Falls to run not 24 hours a day, but all season.
Yeah.
He wants, because he says 4,000 people get laid off every close of the tour season, then they come back. I said, I got you. But if your focus is only one area of the city of Niagara Falls, I have a problem with that.
For sure.
I have a problem because not only are you talking about these jobs, but you're hiring organizations from a whole different region. So wait a minute. You're talking about having these people doing parking, but they're not coming from Niagara Falls. They're coming from got Delaware North managing Niagara. Why is Buffalo managing Niagara Falls?
Right.
These. I know I haven't really asked the question necessarily.
But you see, you hit it though. This is it. These are questions. Why?
Why this? And then why would we allow? And this is where I think the council seat comes in, because outside of yourself, Dante, Archie, I'll just be honest with you. Say that go every now and then. Don't ask the questions to vet these decisions
Man.
that are being brought to the table. Like I said, and I said, you've been in the seat, so sometimes I get it 24 hours, sometimes I get it. Then I get a special meeting.
Yep.
And I'm just from the outside looking in, it just looks like whatever didn't pass last meeting.
Bring it right back. Bring it right. Special meeting or right.
Let it pass. But if you're moving like that and operating like that, you don't have a heart for this. You can't have a heart for this.
And that's where it's up to us, all the people, to get engaged, to get involved. You don't have to, like you already said, you don't have to show up to the meeting. You don't have to come to the podium. You don't have to run for office. Right. But man, can you learn something from somebody? Can you share a message? Yes. Can you learn who's running? Every 2 years, there are 3 seats open. And what do you mean 3 seats? Not just council seats. You got 3 council seats open this year. In 2 years, you got 3 seats. You got the mayor and 2 seats open in 2 years. So every other year, there are 3 seats turning over. Do you know who's running for those seats? Right. Do you know who you want to? Do you know about each person running? Because if we keep voting the same people in, and by same people, I mean the same mentality, that they're just gonna they work for the administration. They're just gonna do whatever the administration says. We're gonna keep getting the same thing over and over.
If anybody watching, you have any questions in the comments, feel free to write
Please.
a comment, and that's a question as well. And you're absolutely right. There are people who are on the ballot who I ain't seen, but they're real estate. Wait a minute, I haven't even seen you communicate concern. I see you, and you can fill in the blank wherever you feel. All I seen was a garden one time, but I'm not. Wait a minute, who are you? Like, what is your drive? And we can't vote the same.
We can't.
Like
we just can't.
Same name, same mentality, and you're absolutely right. Because if we do, we'll keep getting the same results.
The same results.
So I'm gonna do a little segue here, and to those who are the board of education, you're the board. It is what it is.
Yep.
But if there is no challenge of evolution, evolving or growing, and they continue to do what they've always done, our children will be what they've always been.
And get what they always got.
And I think that, and I'm gonna say this, I'm not saying that those who are currently there are competent or don't have the capacity. But one thing that you said was, have they been challenged to do so? Like, you don't necessarily need to run for office or have a seat on the board. But are you vocal enough? Are you present enough to hold the board accountable? Because the conversation I had recently with a previous legislator, board member, I wasn't a board member, legislator, was that Mark Laurie, who has done his due diligence with the family, and we know him. He's valid. He's going to retire soon.
Yeah.
Whether it's tomorrow, 2 years,
whatever.
But the question is, who's next?
Who's next? Next man up.
And what is the curriculum? What is the standard? It can't just be we just appoint whoever.
Right.
Now, I'm be honest with you, that's how it's set up. They can appoint whoever. But there is no vetting process that we hold people accountable. And I'm not just talking about it should be the board, it should be parents in the community,
right?
It should be religious leaders as well. Who's getting ready to represent our kids and our students going forward?
Right.
So I say all this conversation because there's so many components. That go into this change that we're talking about. And I think that we have to really come together collectively and communicate a strategy of execution together.
Right.
That we can't be divided in this execution.
Right.
That even in my silence, I may not be on the front line when I'm working to do my due diligence.
Exactly. And that's the key thing. I mean, man, not everybody has to be on the front line. Even in the Army, all the Army ain't on the front line. You got some people doing medical. You got some people cooking. You got a chef who's back there feeding the troops. They just back there. They think that, we think they just a cook. Well, they're feeding the troops to go out there and shoot down range. So this army of change is going to have multiple platoons, multiple groups, battalions. But man, you know your role. And just get involved in some way. I love to see the votes in this upcoming race double from the last city council race. I would love to see the next Board of Education race double from the previous race. Just more people getting engaged, getting in the game, even if it's on the sideline.
Now we talk community, we talk politics. We all got our hands everywhere.
For sure.
we're in the community,
Oh,
we're in
yeah.
politics, but we also in the church.
Yep.
What role do you think that the church should have in the development of our community?
It should be it should have a central role. Because just to bring this on down home, whatever church you go to is fine. But at your church, you should be able to say, hey, you got a young man coming up, 13, 14, 15 years old. Oh, you want to learn about being a barber? Go see brother so-and-so. You want to learn about media? Go see so-and-so. You want to learn about engineering? Go see Vincent. You want to learn about being a podcaster, radio host, DJ host? Go see brother Frank. The church should be a nexus of business, information, education, training, mentoring, and we learn about doing the kingdom of God as well.
So this guy, I just typed this concept up maybe three days ago, and I know that there is a lack of community centers. Now I'm saying that there's none, but there's a lack of them. We got the Boys and Girls Club, we have Resource Center, you have Packer Court, so there's some that exist. But I feel like the church should open up their doors, additional outside of Bible study, outside of just Sunday morning worship, and become a community hub, just so that the community that they serve has access to the nexus that you just talked about. That, hey, we're doing training, we have this technology class, even for the seniors, because technology is happening, and they like, baby, I don't know what's right. I was talking to some elders in Buffalo today, like, I can call and barely text, but I play my game. But if you're talking about getting some information, I'm limited. But there should be the church, and I get how we got to where we are.
For sure.
I get COVID, and COVID was a major hit to the church in surviving. But now we have to get back to becoming the core of the community. And even though I say church, that's any religious institution. The seats, the mosque. I'm not knocking just Christianity, but if you are present in the community, your doors should be open to a degree where, hey, we are open to provide the resources necessary that's accessible to those in the community. But to do that, those things have to be established, that content have to be given, and then we can pull on funds and funding. Like I said, you hear this video tomorrow. If we got $4,000 to pull out the sky somewhere, clearly we got $250,000 to invest in a couple of churches, keep the doors open, provide programs. For sure. It has to be.
And that's where the politics side come in at, because that's where the money, so you got privately funded, whether it's a business, individual, and then you got the public. We just got from the casino over the past, since 2002, we got over $250 million from the casino alone. We got $57 million from COVID. That's $300 million. That's coming to Niagara Falls. Now, who determines where that money goes? That's where you get those 5 council members and that mayor. That money, and that's where it comes out. Whether it's through contracts, whether it's through CDBG funds, whether it's through that project, that's where all that comes. But it's the politicians. Why don't people invest? Because they say the political climate is wrong. Well, if we keep nosediving and we don't pull up and get the right people in city council, get the right people in that mayor spot, that's where the money comes.
And that's valid. And so anybody who said, let me talk to the people for a second. Oh, if you give my votes, don't matter. They matter. And they matter even more aggressively locally.
That's where it matters at locally.
That's where it matters aggressively, because these things, they shape how things run and move.
Right.
And if we're not a part of that, and we're not in that, that's why it's important to educate. The Bible is prepared for lack of knowledge.
Right.
Let me inform you so you can make educated decisions.
Yep.
And like, for example, I got kids here, and I want them to live well and to strive. They ain't got to stay here necessarily, but it would be great.
Right.
If God has called us here to do a work.
Right.
But while here striving and making sure that you're being conditioned and prepared to do well. But if not, whoever's in charge got to.
Exactly. And I myself personally don't have kids yet, but I'm fighting for Frank's kids, Dante Miles' kids, my nieces and nephews, generations. I want people to want to stay here, and maybe they get a job and say, oh man, my job is transferring from here to New York City. Okay, fine, go chase that. But I don't want you to leave because, there's nothing to do.
Right.
No, that's unacceptable to me, man. That's part of the passion. Like, there's nothing that can stop me from keep going because I just know the changes that we need. I'm engineering. I like solving problems, so it's just solving the problems, going to the people, developing that community. I mean, I was at the Lions Club today, just developing that community. Just honored 30 kids there, fifth graders, just being in that community and tying everybody together.
And I think that's what the mission has to be. I know that, and to be being honest, I know that there's crime and there's challenges and these things. And those are not things that I highlight on my page. We get enough of that. But I feel like right now the people need to be informed of what could happen, the possibilities, and be encouraged, because there's so much discouragement, even for our youth and adults. I see the potential, as leaders and being spiritual, we can see the potential of greatness inside somebody, but if they're not offered the tools of discovery,
right?
I like that term.
There you go.
I like that. I'm just saying, I like that term. I like that tool of discovery, because I didn't know I enjoyed podcasting until I entered at the radio station. I didn't know I enjoyed communications in college. I didn't know I enjoyed it. So the kids don't even know what they enjoy because they have to experience carpentry, plumbing, or trade work, mechanic work, engineering, media. It hasn't been
offered to them, presented, exactly, and exposed to it.
And when I say exposed, I'm talking about exposed and full. Because I understand that there are programs at the high school, but this is limited. Yeah. The Stanford classroom y'all got going on, limited. The OCS channel y'all got is limited. Right. But you don't have enough resources allotted for the number of students y'all got in one school. And I'm just calling it the high school for sure. But let's apply that same thing to what I'm going to be Gaskill and Lacell, and even the young kids. The kids now are so smart.
Smart, man.
Technology is second nature. Man. So there is no way now, if you gave my son a tablet and you begin to teach him engineering today as a fun, as a game, as whatever, that bite to learn, what knows what could develop before he even gets into a high school or a middle school. Right. We haven't provided this tool of this.
Man. And they always say a product of our environment. Some of us can overcome, but most, whatever's around them, that's where they're gonna be at.
And I just want to be able to put things around them and give them the option. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, it's the people's fault, blame the people. I get it, but do you provide the options? Right. Have you provided it to be accessible? Have you put it in front of them? Because if the program exists and the funds out there, my next task is getting people to show up. But if it's not there, what they're showing up to.
And we should be, the next generation should be starting on our shoulders, not at our feet. Yes. They should be able to see farther. Yes. The previous generation did this. Oh man, what can I do? Yeah. But man.
Now I'm gonna preach this. This is a fresh deposit. I did not study it in full detail, but basic information. So feel free, scholars, check me. We're studying the book of Numbers. In Bible study. And it talks about that there are people designed to go into war and people who are designed to maintain the temple. Yep. And the starting age was 20. Mm-hmm. But they only could work 20. No, I think that might be wrong. I think it's 30 to 50. They had 20 years of servitude, whether in war or taking care of the temple, which lets me know that they had to develop consistently. Right. Oh, my time is running out. Hey, our time is coming up. Has the next generation been prepared to talk how to handle what is now? Man. And so there is constant elevation and evolving. Anita, greetings. How are you? There's constant elevating, but there is constant preparation. Yes. And when you stop preparing for what, this is good. When you stop preparing, preach it. You miss a moment. And Niagara Falls has stopped preparing. 100%. When we went from industry, the mechanics of it, and things switched to technology, we didn't turn with it. We didn't. Therefore, we didn't prepare. Right. We didn't have technology classes. We didn't go into it. So now here we are behind the 8 ball, needing to catch up. Right. Because we didn't prepare. Right. And we have Niagara Falls. We have all the tools we need. We have power. Yes. We have climate. Yes. We have the water.
when you're talking about technology, when you're talking about innovation,
That's real.
we have the resources to catch up like that. We just got to get the right people in, get the right mindset, and we can catch up like that. It's so easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just profound things are happening in my mind because somebody wrote a statement and they talked about ChatGPT. And it was like, oh, stop using ChatGPT because there's a certain amount of water that it takes to handle stuff. I don't know, I didn't understand it in its entirety. But when you spoke, you said something about the water, which is a powerful resource for us at just about no cost.
Man.
It's a resource that just has to be funneled in the right direction.
It does.
So that it can yield a resolve for the people who are here. We are not just a tourist town.
No.
We are a tourist town in a time of industrial movement. And we have to get back to that.
Yeah.
Like you said, right away. But if the people who have been in place for the past 30, 40, 50 years remain in place in that mindset, you're still operating back then. I'm going to go back to the school board. It's the same people on the school board now who's been on the school board. And if you're not open to the nuances and the newness and the new stuff that's happening, and you're not aware, you'll keep doing what you've always done.
Right.
And even with, Mark Laurie trying to maintain and doing his thing, he's only one person.
Right.
As a board, hey, these are the things that are happening now. And I'm not just going to highlight Buffalo, but Buffalo has shown you how the wheel works. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just apply the wheel to these streets.
Hello. That's it.
Bring it here. Let's try it out. Let's see if it works. Let's take that resource, take the information, let's apply it here. One thing that Buffalo had was Saturday Academy. I used to teach dance fitness.
Okay.
So what we did was Saturday Academy was almost like the school became a Saturday community center. We're going to feed you kids. We're going to feed y'all. We're going to provide you fitness classes, the gym, some games, but there's also technology. There's also crafts. There's also education for the parents. But it was designed for that community to have access to come on a Saturday, something to do for the children. We're going to feed y'all. You ain't worry about that. We got food giveaway and these components. And they do this at multiple schools at the same time.
Wow.
And I'm just like, what would it take to open up Gaskill on a Saturday? To open up 24th Street on a Saturday and say, hey, we got food, we have resources. Y'all come be a part. We're doing this for just, even if it's just for the weekends for the summer.
I know we can do it.
We can do it. It's already being done.
And it's being done.
Can we apply it here?
And I know we can apply it here.
And that means that the kids now have something to do. Now they have, this is my word now, tools of discovery.
Tools of discovery.
My dad's a plumber. Even using the entrepreneurial school of thought. I said, y'all just got to present to the people things they don't know.
Right.
Bring some trade. One of my cousins enjoyed making rugs. But she didn't know that until she made a rug. Like she didn't know until she went to a class and like, oh, making rugs is fun. I don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
You have to just present that. And I think that.
And that goes back to the entrepreneur of try, fail, and adjust. Maybe you hold a class. And maybe you only get 2 people to show up. You have 2 people to influence for the next generation. And maybe it'll grow after that. If your passion is there, man, we just got to let that flow. But
and that's why I think that for us, and this may need to be a class by itself, developing programs, procedures, writing grants, because we do understand that certain things take finances. I get it.
For sure.
I get it. And sometimes things gotta work its way through. And you might get a grant. It may not be working out, but it's paid for. It ain't stressing you out, but it's showing you keep going, be consistent, be steadfast. Because what I realize is people just catch on late.
Exactly.
People be like, Frank, I listen to your radio station every morning. I said, you can't. I said to somebody, at the time, I was the radio station was down. I was like, you listen every year. I enjoy y'all. The morning, listening, rocking out to y'all. I said, me and the teammates sat down and did a show in a year and a half. But whatever you're watching, it's blessed.
Stay blessed.
What happens is it just shows that people will catch on eventually, but you got to be consistent. Anita says there's a program sponsored by Value Partner where the kids can get a free book based upon their age. It's up to age 5. It's important to have that interest in reading when kids are young. Absolutely. But watch this. Now this will be pressure. Don't judge me. They're gonna love you, right? You just provided us information I was not aware of.
Right.
So now what happens is, to those who are watching, oh, what's the program? So as an individual, now this is probably the pressure that we don't like. It would be great for you to provide us, they don't like this word, a one-click access to show us how we can get there.
Right.
What's the website? Where it's at? How can we figure it out?
Right.
Because this is just understanding the time of where we are preparing.
For sure.
We're not doing nothing that's going to be crazy long.
For sure. And that's valid. Right?
And that's just where we are.
It's where we are.
But if I can tell you, hey, you want a free book for your child, for your child, hey, here's the link.
Here's a link.
Send me the link. I'll post it on the page. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that information now is valuable to a parent who's like, I can't like to read, but getting the book is.
Right. It is. We're in the information age, whether that's information data, like with the data center there, or just knowing what's going on, having a community hub of information that we all know where to go.
Absolutely. And that's where I think that's things that we need to push for and make happen. And we need to invest, like you said, the word data center again. Invest in where we are and where we're going.
Right.
Like the investments that has to happen for the city has to be more than just tourism alone.
Right.
But even with tourism, and this is, and I put pressure on restaurants, we'll get out of this shortly, is with tourism, we know we got these number of people coming to downtown Niagara Falls, but an undeveloped city
right
doesn't get that same traction
right
to go.
Right.
And then, and this is just me being just who I am, is also a matter of, is the experience that we offer quality enough for visitation?
Right.
That is not an administration problem.
Right.
That is how am I handling my business?
Right.
Am I providing a quality business that is safe, that when they walk in, they feel welcome,
right,
and it is a great experience.
Right.
But that is a conversation that we have to hold with our business owners,
right,
entrepreneurs, that, hey, we're getting ready to try to arrange things so that the tourism that's happening can start to funnel to where we are.
Exactly.
But when they come, can we make sure we provide them
exactly
not a whitewashed experience,
right?
Just quality experience.
Quality.
When I get here, the karaoke, it's a vibe. You know,
man,
it's an energy. Oh, I love this spot.
Right,
this is amazing.
Man, have you checked out this underground bowling place?
Right,
have you checked out, man, we got the indoor water park. Have you checked out the jazz club or the music club or whatever, man?
And then also, we are full of so much
talent. I know we got, man,
city
right here.
And yet, I'm just being honest.
Come on.
I'm seeing everybody else pass through downtown.
Right through.
I'm looking at 3rd Street and I'm just like,
man,
wait, we can't get a Thursday?
Right.
We can't rock out here?
We can't. Come on.
Wait a minute.
Come on.
The Sheraton Hotel, you looking for talent. I got bands, man, that can do a thing. But the question also is, are we prepared for that conversation and dialogue?
Exactly.
So I'll end with this. So I say, as I said before, there's so many components.
Yep.
But if we all working them at the same time,
right,
in our sections, and coming up with a true plan of action, we can accomplish
so much.
I think when it even comes down to it,
and faster than most people think.
No, and that's the part. It doesn't take.
It doesn't
as you're projecting.
It doesn't.
If you're preparing now, somebody's term can end tomorrow.
Right.
The term is. I'm just being honest. God can do a thing.
God can only do it.
If you prepare like you're supposed to,
right,
He can cause a 2-year term to become 6 months.
Right.
Somebody's got to take over.
Somebody's got to take over.
You don't know what occurred. It don't wish harm on anybody, but things can change and shift. But if you're prepared to do what's required, you open yourself up for opportunities to make things come alive.
Absolutely.
And it is my hope and my encouragement that the fire that you have for the city doesn't fade, doesn't fail, isn't shaken. And it's my hope that you not just strive, but really succeed in every venture that you envision. And you got my back. You got my back. I Hopefully, you got my support.
I'm not changing Niagara
No,
Falls.
no.
Niagara Falls. It's only going up. So
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, no question.
It's spiritual. I've seen visions. So,
Man, without vision shall perish.
So I'm going to put this vision out there now. It may not make sense yet, but just that time, just document the video 5/28/2025 at 9:32. I saw Main Street. I'm trying to think with it. You know, Lincoln. Is it Lincoln's Way?
The one in front of Rapids. That's because I used to live on Lincoln.
Yeah,
I used to live on Lincoln.
I recall. So let's go. No, I think I'm trying to think. It's a glass building. They do like post office work.
Glass.
It's like glass. But what I saw, yes, that's Niagara. It's Niagara Street. Then it's Cleveland. Thing is it Cleveland between Lincoln? It might be. I might be off. But what I saw was this glass. It was a glass. It's glass now. But I had a dream one time. I was walking down Main Street, and the sidewalk lit up. And when I looked inside this, I looked up through that glass. It was clean. It was clear. It was crisp. But on the inside, what it was somebody displaying an art show activity. And as I watch Main Street currently, the paint, the graffiti, I'm watching this happen now. And even with Saladin's attempt to add some more graphic to the asphalt, it just aids to the vision that I had that Main Street will turn.
It will.
And I think that Main Street will not just be a business district, but I think it's going to turn into what will be displayed as our art and cultural display of creativity.
Yes.
I just believe that.
Yes.
And like you said, it doesn't have to be a long term for now. It's nothing to get into a space with some funds, revamp it, bring it back to life, and create this space that could be an event space, that could be a art showcase, that could be so many things.
So many.
But we have to put that pressure in that work.
And we do. That's it.
And I'm down for it.
It's going to take work and pressure. That's it.
Anita said she'll get the information to us tomorrow. It's basic, a month or a week. I can't remember. Okay, no problem. You get that information to us. We'll share it. Anything that you want to share to the people or say before we get out of here?
You know, we hit the main three topics. The community. We got to come together as people. No more division. We got to get unified. That the more unified we are, the faster we can move.
Yes.
Politics. Know who's running for these offices. We have board of education elections. We have city council elections. We have the mayor election, and then we talked about just the business climate, just getting involved, getting engaged. We can do it in Niagara Falls. We can do it faster than most people think. Let's revitalize our city.
Listen, let's make it happen. You can do it. We can do it. As I said in the city council meeting, let us know what you need. If you don't communicate, we don't know. What do you need? What do your kids need? Because you might be a conversation of stirring up for somebody else.
Yeah.
They may have the same need you have, but they're afraid to speak up about it. But your boldness to talk about it lets us know, and now we know what programs we need to work on. Now we know, let me just say this. There are programs that already exist that have a mission inside of its arrangement to deal with components concerning Niagara Falls.
Yes.
But if we don't put a demand and a pressure on them, they won't do it.
Yeah.
I had this I did a business course with BMC in Buffalo, and I talked about how a lot of people have Niagara in the name.
Right. And we get nothing.
But yet we don't get the focal point,
right.
due diligence that is done.
Right.
And I really feel an unction to put pressure on those organizations.
Yes.
What is your mission here?
Right.
What's the goal here?
We got to do it.
And if we don't do that, and I said this in the meeting, like even anybody who's coming to develop, if you're coming to spend $86 billion downtown Niagara Falls, we can't get a few million over here for community advancement.
Right.
That doesn't even, come on, let's do this. Let's do this.
Right.
So don't get me started. I'll get on my horse and we get to going.
Oh, I love this topic, man.
Because we got work to do. Just let you know that this platform, my door is open to you anytime.
Appreciate it.
Anything that jumps off or pop off, I'm going to, yo, Frank, listen, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
My door is open for dialogue.
Let's do it.
Thanks for rocking out with me there. Listen, Y'all make sure you guys stay tapped in. Make sure you follow 5716 Radio, my personal page as well. Make sure you guys prepare yourself to vote Vincent Cauley for councilman seat. Let's do it. Let's bring about change. The seats that are available need some adjustments. Do your due diligence as I'll do mine. Great things are happening. I got some information that I'll post on my page probably tomorrow morning regarding Alzheimer's event that's happening. Some things happening here in the city with Niagara Information Group as well. So y'all be blessed. Y'all be encouraged. If no more questions, I'll holler at y'all. Peace, love, soul, because the soul.